G'day, this is Peter here from Tactical Edge Hobbies. Obviously I'm the owner of the company, and I've been doing a bit of back and forwards with the Queensland Police Service and ABF over the past 3 years, just trying to get things squared away with Gelblasters. Obviously this past weekend has been pretty stressful for everybody, especially since the QPS meeting, or the weapons forum, on Wednesday last week. A lot of things have blown up on social media, and I just want to sort of set a few things straight, if possible. I mean, I might even cause more questions, just depending on what actually comes out of this. But I'll give you my views on what is actually happening and how this is all going, and you can either agree or disagree. But this is the way I see it, and my experience with them over the last 3 years has led me to believe what I'm about to sort of go through now. Also, I'll be going through another video this week, just basically outlining all the things that have happened from day one, when we very first got a container seized, all the way up into here, all the things that have happened to me along the way, and where they've stonewalled me on this and this issue and that issue, and they've manoeuvred and they've done all these different things to try to restrict the movement of Gelblasters and to restrict them coming into the country. A whole range of different things have happened, and not many people actually know about it. And to be honest, I just never got around to communicating the message with the community, and it's something that I've always planned on doing, but I just never got around to it. So I think it's time that I got all the information out there and basically went through it with you guys. So the current issue that's facing us is obviously what Mark Ryan has released in his press conference the other day, which is obviously that he does want to, I suppose, restrict Gelblasters through moving Gelblasters from toy into its own category, which is restricted items. The restrictions would be that you need to transport them in a bag or transport them safely out of the view of the public. The second restriction would be that they need to be locked away at home or something along those lines. They haven't been very detailed in their description of these things. And then the third thing would be a genuine reason or reasonable excuse, or which might be membership of a club or something along those lines. So there is a lot of ambiguity around what they actually want to do specifically with each of those areas, but they are sort of promoting it as it's not a big deal. It's just a little bit of a light touch regulation, just to ensure public safety. I will say that there are already laws to deal with the people who do the wrong things with Gelblasters completely. They are all encompassing. There's several pieces of legislation that deal with that. They are able to be prosecuted under several laws if they do the wrong thing. So they're already there. There's already laws. So this is just another further regulation. The main issue, now the reason I am opposing this with everything that I've got, is because they're removing the word toy from the regulations. Okay, so not from the legislation, from the regulations. When it comes to regulations, the politicians can change the regulations practically overnight. They don't need to go to Parliament to change them. It can be done just with the party meeting or something along those lines. I might be a little bit off on that, but it is very easy for them to change regulations. So once they remove the word toy, we lose our protections under those regulations for Gelblasters themselves, and they move into the jurisdiction of weapons licensing, and that's where they start to get heavier on the regulations over time. At the moment, they might not have any plans to do that, but as things progress and the industry matures and there's things that go on, they're going to slowly but surely take away our rights. And that might be quick, it might be slow, it might be a month, it might be a year. We don't know exactly how it's going to go. Obviously, I'm the head of an association as well, so the actual genuine reason thing would benefit me, but I really do think community-wise, it's the worst outcome possible if we lose that protection of toy, or the word toy, in the regulations. Up until this point, weapons licensing actually hasn't had any power over the product themselves. They are obligated to provide a B709A when importing, and obviously with our court case back in 2017, or December 2017, we reclassified the item under the customs import regs as a imitation firearm and not an actual firearm. So that's where some of the disconnect is coming from, is what actually happened in that case. So what happened was it was declassified as a firearm and into imitation firearm. So that's on a federal level. When it comes to state, it is a toy, absolutely, because there is a toy exemption in the legislation itself. And they would have to prove that it's not a toy. And a toy is simply something that is used by children, which we all know it is, and it's used as a toy. So at this point in time, we do have the protection, and it is my view that we should oppose, as a community, we should oppose the removal of toy. Yes, we're happy to transport them safely. Yes, we're happy to store them safely. Yes, I mean, I'm happy to, I'm assuming most of the community would be happy to join a club or an association or something like that. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't have to do that. That should be a choice. But you know, that's not the worst regulation that could come out of it. What is the worst is that they remove that protection of toy. So as a community, we need to oppose that. We need to let the Labor ministers know that if they do change that one particular part of the legislation, then we will be looking at reassessing who we vote for come election time at the end of the year. Thanks for listening. As I said, I will be releasing a new, well, not a new, but I'll be going through the whole story of exactly what has happened over the last 3 years when it comes to my interactions with the government departments and the way that I've had to deal with them, and the ways that they've dealt with me and the way they've treated me as a member of the public, which hasn't been great at times. Now, the police up there are some fantastic guys in the police force, and they do try their best. However, I think the complete underlying, what they've been trying to do has been ban them from day one. I think they tried to steamroll over us in the beginning. We didn't stand for it, so now they're trying a different tactic, and I think this time we shouldn't stand for it either. Thanks for listening, and I hope this doesn't raise too many questions with you guys.